Hello and good evening to all the lovely mothers watching me on Unimo Universe of Moms. I hope you see me live and my audio and video is clear. If you see me live, let me know so that we can start today's session. Okay, so I think a lot of you have joined in. Hello and welcome to all the amazing people watching us on the page of Unimo Universe of Moms. I'm Neha Kanabar. I'm the founder of Unimo Universe of Moms. And today we are going to talk about social skills. As we all know that as a mankind, we are losing onto social skills, the human interaction skills, how to read a person's mood, to read their body language, how to be patient under, until the moment is right to make or to press a point, too much exclusiveness or inclusiveness of electronic information. I think all this dehumanizes what is a very, very, very important part of our community life and living together, social skills. But I'm afraid that our children are also losing the art of, social skills. And here we have someone who's going to answer all our queries around today's topic, which is how to build your child's social skills. I'm sure last Thursday, you guys were very, very excited and you've shared a lot of love through your comments, through your shares and your messages on our DMs that how much you loved last Thursday's live. So this Thursday, I'm back in again here with our experts from Billabong High International School, which is powering this live, and experts who are going to answer different topics week on week. This time, I personally feel that this topic is a very, very useful topic as our parents have been asking threads around this specific topic a lot many times on our community. Guys, today we have Billabong High International School experts with us, and I'll introduce them to you very shortly. But before that, let me talk about Billabong High International School. You all know that this is one of my favorite schools, which has been founded 15 years ago, and today is one of the leading K-12 schools in our country. One of the main aspects of the philosophy is that teaches students how to think and not just what to think. Hence, it is known as the School of Thought. And here I have my amazing guest who you all loved in the last session, once again with me, Natasha Mehta. Natasha, miss, welcome.
Thank you, Neha. I'm so glad to be here again.
Ma'am, just for the benefit of the audience who've joined us first time, I'll read on to your profile again, which is super impressive. Natasha Mehta is a head of head of school development for Lighthouse Learning. In the last 30 years, she has been an educator and a school leader. She's also authored around 52 books for science learners, both for national and international boards. She believes that children today are quick learners and need to be given the opportunities to develop their versatility. And Billabong High International School here today in spotlight is Billabong High International School Baroda, which has won multiple awards and is highly ranked for its outstanding programs and teaching. It has been ranked as one of the top ICSC schools in the Baroda as well as Gujarat. And guys, when we are talking about BHIS Baroda, and last time when we celebrated BHIS Baroda, you all were very keen to know about the power behind the school. So here I introduce you to my next guest this evening, Dr. Preeti Srimal.
Good evening, and a very good evening, Neha, and a pleasure to be here on this platform.
Ma'am, kudos to the amazing achievement for BHIS Baroda, and I think we love the work BHIS does, and especially congratulations for ranking as one of the top ICSE schools in Baroda as well as the entire state of Gujarat.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, a little introduction about you for all our viewers. Dr. Preeti Srimal is the principal of BHIS Baroda. She has a doctorate in education and a master's in English and educational administration. She's a routine participant and panelist in National Education Conference and seminars. This school has won a plethora of awards under her, able leadership. Thank you, ma'am, for taking out time to be with us this evening. So without really, wasting any more time, guys, I think I should jump onto today's topic, which is super, super, super interesting. Let me start by asking the first question to our experts. And my first question, of course, I know that you guys are also commenting with a lot of your questions here, mothers. Keep commenting. I'll try to include as many questions as I can in today's session also. Let me start by asking the first question to Natasha Miss. Natasha Miss, why is it important to have good social skills? In adults as well as in children, and later if you can also highlight that where can children build or learn these social skills?
Right. Thanks, Neha. So, like you said, just a few seconds back, we are human beings, are social beings, and it's the same with our children. Just as for adults, for children also, a large part of our life is built around social relationships and having good positive relationships with each other, with our communities, for our children, with children in the peer group in the school, or people in the society, and so on. um, Considering that this part is so important, it's critical that children have good social skills so that they are happy and they live a fulfilling childhood. So, just to give a few examples, we have sometimes seen the new children who come to school and join a new class. Some of them, within the first couple of days, will go up to the children and introduce themselves and say, "I'm so and so. I'm coming from this place. This is the school I went to," and they will quickly make friends. And you see that in a week, 10 days, they're settled and they're happy and enjoying school. But I've also had examples where children who've been in the same school for many months or sometimes many years will go to a teacher or the counselor and say that, "I don't know, why I'm not able to be a part of this group and why I'm not able to make friends." So in the first case, those are children obviously who have good social skills. In the second case, these are children who haven't been able to develop good social skills. So uh, absolutely, social skills are so critical for all of us, and of course for our children. We see that children who have good social skills are able to develop friendships and also then maintain healthy, positive relationships over a long period of time. They're good at sensing nonverbal cues. So these children, for example, in a class, if the teacher's uh, a little bothered, will could before even the teacher says anything, they're able to sense, and they will reciprocate accordingly. Then in unstructured situations, for example, when children go out to the playground to play, and as parents, we see when children go out to play with their friends, where in the communities that we live in, there are certain children who will always get into altercations and they'll stomp their feet and go out in a huff. And it's very difficult for them to resolve conflicts. But then there are other children who, if there is an uncomfortable situation, they will work their way around it. They know how to resolve conflicts, without getting too aggressive, without losing friends, uh, and be able to say that I'm not okay with it, but still retain their friendships. So conflict resolution comes easily to children who are, good at their social skills. And so automatically, these children are less stressed. They are happier. They are not strained. They're happier at school. Uh, Generally, we see that children with good social skills are able to communicate very effectively. They're very expressive. Um, and therefore, all of this builds to a happy school life, a happy childhood. Uh, and if the children are in a happy frame of mind, it obviously impacts everything that they do. They enjoy their sports, they have higher academic success. Generally, for a good, happy, successful, if I can say like that, childhood. Therefore, not enough can be said about developing and having good social skills in children. Definitely.
Wow, that was quite interesting. And I personally feel that a happy mom is a happy child. So I'm
Yeah.
sure, it's also vice versa, that if the child is happy, the mother will also be happy. So
Yeah.
I think, ma'am, very, very relevant conversations. Dr. Preeti, I would like to ask you the next question. What are some of the challenges you feel that children may face while they're trying to socialize? Are there any signs that indicates poor social skills? Any red flags to be marked?
So as Natasha said that Neha, social skills are extremely vital and are an integral part of the overall development of any child. Because when we talk of making the students future ready, we talk about the 21st century skills. All these social skills have to be in place for a child to actually interact with the world around him. And so we have to empower them with the right social skills from the very beginning. sometimes developing social skills is a task which is easier said than done. And a lot of challenges which we face. One of the most critical challenges is in the domain of interpersonal skills. So when I say interpersonal skills, there are areas where the children are not very good at basic communication, their power of expression. They hesitate when they want to start a conversation. So they lack confidence to actually communicate their views and their ideas. And often, in an attempt to show that they are there, their presence, they interrupt conversations and at the cost of ignoring what is being said. So this is a challenge which we normally face. Then there are challenges where basic greetings are not shared by students. You know, they want to wish a teacher, they want to wish their best friend, but somehow there is that kind of an inhibition in them. They are a little shy. So they miss out on that. And when they do not do so, they miss out forging good friendships. They do not pick up on non-verbal cues. You know, they want to smile, but somehow they feel that no, if I smile, probably it will be taken otherwise. So there is that inherent hesitation in them. So these are challenges. Again, there is another big challenge is that they often do not want to take turns when they are speaking in a class. They want to just interject and they want to interrupt because they feel that by doing so, they are able to make their presence felt. And the biggest challenge often I feel is that they're not willing to take part in group activities, you know. And because they're not able to take part in group activities, and if there is some kind of suggestion given to them, or if there is some, if the children are asked to participate, they don't know how to keep their emotions in check. Another big challenge is in their listening skills. They get distracted very fast. They don't know how to respond. And they lack the eye contact, which is so very, very important. And these are skills which we need to develop from a very young age because, you know, they are going to carry us through the entire life, these children. So we have to ensure that the students are able to get over these challenges. And another challenge which we are facing after the COVID situation, and now with everything becoming so digital and children becoming so exclusive and losing their patience, is to draw the fine line between being assertive and aggressive. So when they do not know when they need to be aggressive, when they need to be assertive. So they have to be actually told that, you know, you need to be polite. Even by being polite, even by having patience, you will get your way through. It's not always aggression which will get you to give you the things or to get you your way. Another challenge which we have often felt is in problem solving skills. So children are often very scared to come out of a situation, to talk about a situation, and that becomes very threatening. Because if a child is being bullied, if there is some kind of a peer pressure, the children should have the confidence, the children should have that innate strength and courage to speak out, to communicate. They are not able to do that. So these are a lot of challenges where we need to imbibe in them that, yes, you should be able to communicate with confidence. You should know when to accept the right and when to say no against the wrong. So these are some of the challenges. The second question which you asked me are indicators, which are very, very important. I mean, how do I know that my child, my student is lacking social skills? There are a lot of indicators which we as educators are able to observe and identify. One is their inability to communicate appropriately in their peer group. They are unable to express themselves. They feel completely isolated in a classroom. They may be in a classroom, but you'll often see that there's a backbencher. He's sitting quietly. He may be good at academics, but he's definitely not wanting to mingle or interact. He doesn't want to take part in group projects. He prefers to be alone. Definitely, that does not work well for him as he grows up and as he becomes a part of the social environment. So all this leads to a kind of an isolation. The children then don't get invited to parties and, you know, social gatherings. And then they come back with a kind of a stress that there was a party, my classmate threw a party yesterday, but why wasn't I invited? So this kind of a solitary, a solitude which they are always cocooning themselves into is an indicator that, yes, there is a problem and we need to work upon the social skill of the child. They also have a lot of difficulty in forging connections, you know, because And because of this, they are rejected. Obviously, if you're not ready to cooperate, if you're not ready to participate, you will not be included in the football team, or you may not be a part of the badminton team. So then they also get bullied at times. They are not able to understand exactly why am I being ignored. So then they move into a zone of anxiety and anger, because this since they're not able to comprehend why am I being targeted, so they move into a very different zone of being very restless.
Yeah, I think, ma'am, your video is a little frozen. So, okay. So, yeah. Okay, we'll wait for Dr. Preeti to join in and answer this question. Natasha, miss, are you around?
Yes, I am. Yes.
I think her internet went lag. So I
Yes.
think Dr. Preeti was talking about very relevant information around signs that indicate poor social skills, and we'll continue with that as she joins back. Natasha, ma'am, my question, I think is the biggest question of the hour, that if we understand, or the cue she was talking about, when we understand that our our children are lacking poor social, are poor at social skills, what are some strategies to build their social skills? And I want you to answer across age groups, because we'll have mothers of young children, there are mothers like me who have teens. So, like, how do we handle this?
Sure.
So
Thanks.
Dr. Preeti is back. Hi,
Yeah.
doc. Yes, doc, you were just
Was I not
completing.
audible throughout, or
No, just the last line, just the
The
last
last
okay?
part.
yes.
Yeah.
So what I would okay, so definitely there are a lot of indicators, and we need to very carefully monitor these indicators, and because this will impact their overall development. It will also impact their creativity, and their ability to explore and take up challenges and risks in life. So they may not at times also display the right.
I think we are again losing you, Dr. Preeti, but I think I really like that you've summarized your signs around, these red flags around knowing about the social skills. Natasha, must see if we can continue with the answer around
Sure. Yeah.
strategies to build
So
social skills in children.
yes. So I will sort of take it on from what Preeti was saying, so these indicators. Uh, I think if you talk about social skills, there are just two or three areas by which, sort of show up as social skills. One is communication. Communication is extremely important. And second is being able to build good relationships, being confident, being having empathy. Um, so, since we are all, when children are born, when we at the stage where they are babies, at stage where they are toddlers, that's the age to start building their, communication and their social skills. Now, how does that happen? It's actually really simple. Uh, when children are very young, as adults, the more time we spend with them, the more time we engage them in communications of all sorts, automatically their social skills will start getting built. So even as when children, when mothers and fathers and grandparents and maybe older siblings, they play with the babies, they play with the toddlers, children, uh, you know, start responding, and their communication starts building like that. When they are 3 or 4 years old, by that time, they would have already learned to respond to emotional cues. They recognize, they sense if the parent is happy, they sense if the parent is upset, they sense if the parent is wanting to engage with them. So because emotions are such an important part of communication, it's not just verbal. Therefore, when our children are very young, parents should engage with them, play with them, whatever it is, sit down and paint with them, read to them. Reading develops a lot of vocabulary. Uh, like Preeti was also saying, that children with poor social skills are not able to communicate effectively. Therefore, whenever they are in an uncomfortable situation, they get aggressive. Their way of expressing disagreement comes not verbally, but by raising their voice or hitting out or just leaving the group. And personally, I've seen over the years children who are able to maintain friendships, who have good social skills, who are successful in whatever they are doing at home and in school. They have a good, very strong vocabulary. And therefore, as adults, we are the ones who have to give them that vocabulary. And how does that happen? We either teach them directly or at home. When we interact with each other, all the adults at home, we interact in a manner by which they learn. So, for example, if there is something that I do not agree with, it could be with a child or any other adult around me, instead of raising my voice, what should I be saying? That I do not agree with you. Maybe we can think of this differently. I am upset that you are saying this to me. Can we do this in a different manner? I do not like the way you're, talking to me. But building vocabulary, and a lot of counselors also say that is critical to good communication, and good communication is essential for building good social relationships. So that is the most important thing that we can do for our children. And that is again, which is like Preeti was saying, evident so much in the class also, again and again. With when children become older, engaging them, giving them opportunities to meet more people, their own peer group. In school, it happens automatically, but part of, let's say, them being part of a football club, a reading club, any kind of a music club, where they are put into situations where there are other people around them, there are children of their age, and they have to get engaged with them. And when things get uncomfortable, they will learn how to resolve that. Um, we have generally seen, I wouldn't say this is a rule, but children who have siblings, by default, they learn. They learn sharing. There is conflict between siblings, and they learn how to resolve them. Um, Now, if that cannot happen, inviting more children at home and sharing is so important. And one of our counselors was telling us that a huge area where children lack in social skill is because as parents, we are getting used to giving children immediate gratification. My child asks for something, I say yes. It could be a toy, it could be a gadget. Can I go watch a movie? Okay. Can I go out and play? All right. So not having patience, immediate gratification, and then children transfer that habit to school or with their peer group. And there that will not happen, because if there are 20 children all wanting to, for things to happen immediately, nobody has any patience, that's cause for trouble. So in fact, the counselor was saying that delay gratification. If your child asks for something, ask them to wait, make them give you reasons why they want something like that. And that is really, really helpful. So that is one very strong sort of way to help children develop social skills is patience. And of course, like I said, communication, being able to express annoyance, displeasure, disagreement through words and not through aggression. Trust me, that's one very big one. And again, when children are in groups with, let's say, people who are older than them, so they learn respect when they with children who are younger to them, to take care of them. So engage them in activities where they are exposed to people of mixed ages also. So they learn how to behave around people of different age groups. And yes, and lots of group activities.
Yeah, I think very, very interesting insights, Dr. Natasha. And I really liked that point where you talked about the counselor's observation and delayed gratification. I think that is a very, very wonderful tip. And we never thought it's connected to this behavior. So I
Yes.
think it's quite amazing. Can I also ask you a, jump in question in between that? I was listening to yours and Dr. Preeti's observations and even signs and strategies around this social skills, that an introvert child will always lack social skills and an extrovert will always be like the master of social skills. Can we say that, or it's
No,
It can
I wouldn't sort of bracket it like that, and Preeti can add on to that. Sometimes bullies are extroverts, but I
that
don't
we
think they have
discussed
great
yesterday.
social skills.
Yeah.
Being a bully is not having great social skills, it's having poor social skills because you don't have empathy. And at that time, you might be successful in showing up as a leader, but it will show up later in life as very, very poor, poor social skill. It's not a recipe for success at all. So, and alternatively, for an introvert, there are some children and adults who are quieter, who do not need a whole, gaggle of people around them to make them happy, but they're comfortable and they're happy in what they are doing, and they will definitely have some friends
They
that will
like to be
come.
around people. They enjoy,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yes.
social company. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was quite interesting. I think, yeah. So I wanted mothers to know about it, that just because your child is introvert, do not label him or her as someone
No.
lacking social skills. That can be developed. And how are they behaving in certain environment also defines it further. So I think that was very, very interesting, Natasha. Miss, my next question is also to you, and then I'll move to Dr. Preeti. And whenever Dr. Preeti, you feel like just adding on to what Dr. Natasha is saying,
Sure,
you can do so.
sure.
I think, Natasha, Miss, we talked about strategies to build onto social skills in children, but what are the long-term implications of, say, a underdeveloped social skills or a poor social skill, in a child? Can this lead to a bigger problem later on in a child's life, or and as you rightly said, it can be corrected at any age. So, what are
Right.
the long-term implications, and if it's required to correct it, then what's the time parents should intervene and take control? Yeah.
Right. Um, See, social skills are so important in our workplaces and at our home, because what are social skills? It just means having good relationships and appropriate behavior, appropriate communication. That's what makes good social skills. So children who grew up with poor social skills, at two extremes, children who are aggressive or who are bullies, will definitely continue to be like that in the workplace. And all of us who are working, I'm sure we have co-workers like that, who might be highly intelligent, very educated, but then at a certain point, they don't make good leaders. People don't want to work with them. These are people with poor social skills. So definitely, children who are like we just discussed, who might be extroverts but they're very aggressive. This is not again a recipe for lifelong success. Conversely, alternatively, children who grow up to be very shy, are not confident, cannot reach out to people easily, cannot verbalize their feelings, find it very difficult to maintain relationships even as adults. It could be in their workplace, so they might end up getting bullied all the time. Because they might be highly capable, but they cannot verbalize their competence. They're not confident of expressing their skills and abilities. They lose out on a lot of opportunities in their workplaces. But then that also happens in their personal lives as well. They cannot maintain relationships, so they can get isolated. And if that continues to happen over a long period of time, that can, and we see that happening around us, that can lead to anxiety. Long-term anxiety can cause severe sense of isolation, can lead to depression. So it can be extremely harmful in both cases. uh, Social skills, in the sense you either sort of retrench into yourself or you get aggressive. In both the cases, it is not good to grow up into an adult like that, both in the professional and in the personal space.
That's wonderful. Dr. Preeti, do you want to add on to something here? Because we lost you in between.
Yes, so I agree with what Natasha is saying, that we social skills have now actually become an extremely important component of future success. So in order to be absolutely future success, to become future ready, because when we talk about catering the future generation to be ready for the workforce of the 21st or the 20th of the future generation of the future centuries, we have to empower them with the right kind of communication skills, the collaborative skills which they would be requiring for the future workforce. So yes, social skills are an absolutely vital component. And sometimes, if you are an introvert, but you're able to showcase your competency, you're able to prove your worth through maybe your work, through maybe the kind of the projects that you're doing, or maybe through your creativity, that also at, will work for a child or for a student or for an adult who is not that well honed up with his social skills. So there are definitely two spectrums to this entire social skill development.
Okay, so I think then it also says that introvert child might behave very differently in different
Yes,
environment. Yeah. So
yes,
at times when
absolutely.
you are leading in a school project and you are taking a leadership role there, and there you're interacting with your peer group, you're still developing your social skills being an introvert. Okay,
So,
so
for
that
example, an introvert child, but is she or he is a fantastic artist. So, if we ask them to paint the wall or give them some kind of a project, a creative project, so there, the moment the child is given the platform to showcase his creativity, there's a lot of praise which flows in. He or she is looked upon from a different light. So that boosts the confidence, and maybe the child then shifts a little bit and gets more communicative about himself. So yes, opportunities do matter. Yes.
Yeah, quite an amazing example. And I personally feel that at because we are speaking to parents right now, and uh, with this entire series of thoughtful parenting, we are trying to educate parents through our expert answers and the questions they all have. I also feel that somewhere when we put our kids to schools, we also expect schools to take up these roles, because at times you guys assign roles to students for various projects, various, like, as I think Dr. Natasha also mentioned, that these children who are good at social skills also develop a good vocabulary, so ultimately they'll be the one who will be given more chances to speak even in school representations. So ma'am, because you are representing BHIS, and I know BHIS Baroda is really doing something super amazing, what are some measures undertaken at BHIS per se largely to help children socialize and also bond with peers in school?
So at BHIS, we believe that every child has got that spark, to be able to prove himself or herself and to showcase his talent. So we have a very robust inclusion policy, first of all, where we allow children, along with their learning difficulties, to come with a shadow teacher. And this, even where children are a little challenged in terms of their learning abilities, they get an opportunity to mingle with their classmates, they get an opportunity to take part in group activities. We have a buddy system where we cultivate empathy, enabling children to connect with one another. We help them to become parts of different groups. We have different social relationships which we develop in this buddy system process. Uh, at the preschool level, we have learning stations, where the entire class is divided into 3 or 4 groups, where they perform different activities and they interact with students of the entire class. So it's not generally the child sitting next to me or my friend, but it could be a friend who's sitting probably in the last row, or a friend who was sitting away from you, or a friend who's not even, or a classmate whom you've not interacted with. And circle time is another very important activity wherein children are given the opportunity to communicate, to talk, to verbalize, and also to form social bondings. At the entire school level, we have a
Exactly
lot of.
happens in this circle
So,
activity, ma'am?
so in the circle time, the children sit in a circle, and they are asked to just talk about how their day was, what would they like to share, what was that one, maybe one news, one event, one activity which they would want to talk about. So sometimes they'll talk about a party which they had, sometimes they'll talk about a gift which was given to them, sometimes they'll talk about maybe the food which they had. They went to a fast food joint and they were treated to a burger. So little things which gives them a lot of pleasure and which opens them up and then helps them socialize. Oh, so you were invited to a party. So it also helps them talk amongst themselves. The children then get going, and they start this conversation amongst
And
themselves.
I think the circle setup is also quite
Yes,
inviting. So you
yes.
also have put some
So
science
they're
there.
all sitting together.
Yeah.
They're bonding together. They are sitting next to each other. So that also builds up that kind of a social cohesion in them. We have a lot of group activities. We have a completely electoral process for the school council, wherein students across grades 4, all the students at grades 4, 9 and 11 are given complete opportunity to contest elections for the various posts. There they are given a platform to talk about why they wish to be elected to a particular post. So this gives a lot of confidence to the children. They come up on the stage and it's completely non-judgmental. We have a project-based learning which happens where again we divide them into different groups where projects are given to them. It could be maybe a static project, it could be a working model, it could be doing a presentation. There again we ensure that the groups are divided in a in a heterogeneous way. So we have an equal mix of boys and girls. We have children who are definitely not that social, who hesitate in talking. So that kind of a project-based learning also hones their social skills. We have an event which we call the Billabong Bazigar, where across grades 8 to 12, the students are divided vertically, irrespective of the section to which they belong. And whether you want it or not, you have to work in that group. And then, this is a kind of a marketing event which works so well because they learn to communicate, they learn to collaborate, maybe with friends whom, or maybe even with peer or classmates or schoolmates. A grade 8 child interacting with a grade 12 child because they've been clubbed in that group. So that again gives them that confidence. Okay, I can also talk and interact with a grade 12 child. And the grade 12 child develops the empathy to interact and to understand the concerns and problems of a grade 8 child. We have a lot of co-curricular activities wherein there are inter-house activities where every child is given a platform to participate. Our culminating and even our sports day, every child has to participate. We ensure that. The in-house counseling sessions are very important. We have in-house counselors who conduct one-on-one sessions. So if there is a challenge being faced, if a child feels that he or she is being victimized, has no friends, he or she can always go and approach the counselor. There are classroom sessions wherein engaging activities are conducted by the counselor. Group activities, team building activities are conducted. And we have a very robust community service program, the Interact Club. So in the Interact Club, there are students from grades 1 to 12 who take part in various outreach programs. They take part in various community service drives. And this gives them the confidence to, again, interact across age groups. We conduct a lot of street plays, a lot of nukkar nataks, where visit to different NGOs, and a lot of student-driven community programs are held and scheduled and organized by the school. So here I feel that when children work in groups, they interact with members of different organizations, they interact with different walks, members from the society. This develops their communication skills, they learn to collaborate, they learn to solve problems and basic development of life skills in them. So a lot of opportunities, platforms, events, activities are conducted so that we have children who are holistically, socially developed and are able to perform at their best level. Like we say, become the best version of themselves. So
wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I'm also a certified EQI trainer, so I totally can relate to the kind of activities you have, you know, planned. I think it's all a lot of research behind it, and that's how everything has come up. So I think very interesting work you're doing at the school. Ma'am, when we talk about, including a child, and when we talk about inclusiveness, I think we have seen a lot of cases around ADHD students, SCD students. How does BHIS handles these kind of special cases among students? Like, how do we ensure that they also feel included? And when we talk about their social skill development, what do you do, which is worth, I think, worth including in all other schools who are watching us right now?
So I think we have a very, very successful and a wonderful inclusive policy. And we feel very proud of it, where, we value the individuality of every child, irrespective of their emotional or their educational needs or their behavioral problems. We have a department which is called the Center of Well-being, which basically gives us a lot of guidelines and within which we have a very detailed inclusion policy. So the first thing that we do is we encourage early identification of educational needs. And this is done through a lot of monitoring of performances, teacher observation, and then we go about planning strategies. Some of the measures and strategies which we have adopted and which have successfully worked with children with ADHD are especially at the pre-primary and primary level. We have a lot of attention enhancing techniques. We have a lot of activities like the bead activity, the puzzles. We engage them in a lot of morning activities, because they are bubbling with energy. So there has to be an outlet for them to channelize their energy. So whether it is just going on a walk, or it is skipping, or it is jogging, which calms them down and channelizes them very positively. And also we have something which we call the mirror therapy to increase eye contact. We have behavior charts wherein we have smileys and sad faces. So, which, as per the behavior of the child, either the child is given a smiley or is given a sad face. There's a child at nursery who loves dinosaurs. So, there are special dinosaur stickers made. And when the child feels that, yes, today I've been at my best behavior, and the teacher feels there's a little dinosaur put on his behavior chart. All these observations are then collated, and we plan reinforcement strategies based on that. We also have a lot of calming techniques, like music being played, coloring activities being done. And all this is done under the supervision of special educators. We have special educators who have regular meetings, and they discuss their cases with the teachers and also with parents. One case which I would like to share is there was a child at the nursery level. So we just suggested the parent that maybe if you reduce his sugar intake, it may make a lot of difference. And believe me, it did that. So through observations and through diverse techniques, we do that. At high school, we have a very successful case study of a child who was with us since nursery, and now he's been weaned off the shadow teacher and completely independent. So the strategies we adopted were, we engaged him in diverse group activities. We assigned a lot of responsibilities to him, whether it was the assembly time, it was the arrival or dispersal time, or whether just asking him to organize an assembly. So a lot of positive reinforcement was given to this student, and we praised him at a lot of open forums. And believe me, today the child is in grade 9 for pursuing the IC curriculum, and he's got a host of friends. So through these various strategies, techniques, specialized interventions, customized one-on-one plans which we have, we are able to make a difference, and hone and develop social skills in these children.
Wow, that was quite interesting. And I feel lots to learn from the insights you've shared with us. And so excited to know about this specific example, because I think a lot of mothers will relate to it. And they'll, ma'am, as we speak, a lot of mothers have sent me a lot of questions, and I'll try picking up one, two of them because we are short on time. Nikita has asked me a question that when kids grow up, she's a mother to a teen. She's saying when kids grow up, they hardly get time to pursue their hobbies and even no time to socialize. And being teens, I think they also want to restrict their
Yes.
social timing. Here, I feel time management is a key, but what are the other solutions if experts can guide me?
So I think time management is definitely the key. And like we keep telling the children and the teenage students in our school, everybody needs to have a personalized timetable, a schedule for themselves. So wherein you need to prioritize, what is it that's going to be helpful for you? How will it make you achieve your goals? And the prioritizing what is important for you, prioritizing what is the most, the meaningful activity, the meaningful study program is extremely, extremely important. So sometimes there are deadlines which need to be met. Sometimes they are under the pressure of a lot of examinations, assessments, wherein they are not able to pursue their hobbies, but we have to maintain a balance. That balance has to be struck by the child. If a child is responsibly preparing his or her own schedule, if the child decides that, no, these are maybe I was just going for a whole lot of other events, I would like to focus only on one activity because that's my passion and hobby, and I would like to first work upon maybe one subject. I would like to first concentrate on becoming a little better at maybe mathematics, and then focus on working for English. So they have to have a very fluid and a flexible schedule for themselves. Sometimes what happens is they're all cast in stone. A timetable has been prepared maybe by the mother or the teacher or a parent or a mentor, which doesn't have a buy-in of the child. So let the child himself or herself come up with a schedule. Okay, as per your priority, as per your school schedule, as per your goals, as per your hobbies. What is it that you would want to do first? How much of time would you like to devote? How much of time would you like to give to yourself? And how much do you think I can just let go and relax? So a lot of emotional, a kind of knowing what exactly am I trying to do. Knowing the child needs to know himself or herself very well. So
Uh,
there is a lot of emotional strength which is required, and the parents need to support the child. The
In
support
fact, in fact,
is
this
required.
is, I'm so glad that you touched upon a point which I've been practicing myself in my parenting journey. I'm a mother to twin boys and they're teens. So what we do is we have a ratio called 70-20-10. My boy
Yes.
is also very academic driven and they don't want to socialize much. So what we do to balance it out, the 70% they decide on their timetable. 10% is what they have to listen to parents, whatever it is. And 20% is where we discuss the urgency of the matter. So we might not like that, but I think like taking a walk is important. You might not like it, but that's something you got to include. So those are the 20% skills. So that's how we balance the 100%. And they're very happy because 70% they control their timetables. I think
But this 20% is equally important because,
equally.
it keeps them, yes, it relaxes them and it releases their stress
Yeah,
without
right.
them
They may
actually
not
knowing it.
understand.
Yes.
Yeah, right. They might not understand, but we all know that when we take these little breaks between our studies and
Yes.
go for a walk, it really helps. So I
It
think very
really
interesting,
helps.
Dr. Preeti. Thank you. Natasha, Miss, my next question is to you. Namrata has asked this question. What is the reason for children being so emotionally sensitive these days?
Yeah, that's a interesting, difficult question to
Yeah.
answer. I think um, I think a couple of factors. One is I think our parenting styles have changed. Uh, we are also emotionally more sort of sensitive to our children's needs. We are worried sometimes that, my child, uh, we want to give everything to our child. In schools, I have so often had parents coming to, meet the teachers or coming to meet me, who say that, I want my child to have everything. If the child wants something and I'm not able to give, my child will feel emotionally disturbed. um, we do not, I'm not saying that we raise our voice at our children, but always letting children have their way, not allowing them, not like I said, the immediate gratification kind of thing. That is one very important thing. Sometimes we think our children are very frail, and how we behave around them is to manage their frailty. If we think our children are emotionally very sensitive, our reactions are like that, and that's how we bring them up. And uh, because at home we treat them like this, they go out thinking that everybody else is going to treat them like that. That is, it definitely is making them emotionally frail and sensitive. The other thing which is extremely important is, and a bit of it is not in our control also, you know uh, you see the kind of information, the kind of visual sounds, the kind of things the children get to read through social media is very disturbing. Children have access to information uh, which may be very age inappropriate, at for, let's say, a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old. For example, when in Delhi that whole the Nirbhaya case happened, it was all over the television. It was on social media, and very young children have picked up that vocabulary. It disturbs them. They don't know how to manage that information. It makes them emotionally sensitive. Um, a part of it is under our control. Whatever can be restricted, a lot of it is not. So having a conversation with these children, saying, to make them understand, that all these things which are negative around us, but there are lots of good things also happening. That all people are not bad. I have seen children in school getting into a very negative frame of mind, getting very, very emotionally sensitive, sometimes getting resentful, because there's a barrage of all this negative information hitting them again and again and again. it's important to be able to control it to whatever extent we can. We cannot control it totally, but having open communication, discussing it, and trying to make something, telling them that there is good stuff happening around us, and this is very limited, and how do we manage this? That is very critical. It is causing emotional problems in children. That is very important. But also making them more in our interactions to make them emotionally robust, to be able to say no to your child, and that child, to be able to say that, okay, you're not getting this thing now, or I do not like the way you're behaving. You need to do this very differently. And to, again, as parents, to be assertive and not being aggressive, that will also help. But always giving into the children's needs and wants, it causes trouble later, because when they step out of the comfort of their homes, people around them, especially their own peer group, does not behave like that with them. And in adulthood, definitely not. So yeah, I think that is, like I said, it's a tricky one. And a lot of it is not in our control, especially because of social media.
Yeah, so we should be very mindful that we're preparing them for the future tomorrow, and we
Yeah,
might not give them the same protected environment tomorrow. So
yeah.
how are we preparing them for that? I think very interesting, Natasha Miss, and I think this topic itself is so interesting that I also want to ask you more questions, and the questions are still pouring in. But mothers, we're short on time, and I know how much you love these lives. So do not forget to tune in next Thursday also, because we are gonna come up with a very interesting series week on week with Billabong High International School. And on this one, I need to close it, at this time. Natasha Miss, Preeti Miss, thank you so much for your time. And I think we can, sum our conversation by saying that today social skills are more important than academic performance. And
Yes, absolutely.
parents, are we preparing our kids for it? And if not, do share this live in your circles with your friends, with your network, because you don't know who needs to see it and who needs to work on the children around this specific, characteristic, the behavior we talked about. So thank you, Natasha Miss. Thank you, Dr. Preeti.
Thank you. Thank
And I'm
you.
looking forward to
Thank
the
you.
next Thursday. And all the viewers who are watching us right now, do not forget to tune in next Thursday, same time, 4:30 p.m. with Billabong High International School, presenting to you with Unimo Thoughtful Parenting. Thank you.